Hello, welcome to something new I'm going to do for the website, and really it's just a series of video logs really talking about how the Premier League is going at the minute and how it sort of all affects Norwich really. So yeah, that's basically it, and yeah, hopefully we'll stay on point and I won't talk off at a tangent like I'm doing now. But yeah, right, so here we go. We'll start off with the fact that Norwich drew 1-1 against Stoke at the weekend. Really, it wasn't a very entertaining game to watch, in my opinion. Obviously, chances, there weren't that many of them, which it was a bit disappointing because I thought it was a game that was certainly there for the taking. But at the end of the day, I suppose you've got to say Stoke are a hard team to beat. That's probably one of the only positives you can really take from that draw. And also the fact that actually, it's a point further away from teams like West Brom and stuff. But, it's still a bit disappointing, really, that we couldn't capitalise on a good opportunity in a home game. Obviously on the back of a good win at home against Spurs. I mean, obviously we lost to Villa, but, I think looking at our last home game and how we performed in that against Spurs, I think we really wanted a win in that, and unfortunately we didn't get that. But as I sort of mentioned earlier, we got a bit lucky in terms of the other results. West Brom lost 3-0 to Manchester United, so that keeps them below us, and obviously it also impacts their goal difference, which could be quite crucial because our goal difference isn't that good at the minute. I think it's an area that could actually hinder us if things get very tight towards the end of the season, which it looks so it might do. So yeah, it's quite good that Man U put 3 past them. Obviously, I watched that and I didn't think West Brom looked that good at all. We've obviously got to play West Brom very shortly, so I would say that game is really a game that we've got to be looking to win if we are really serious about staying up, as well as sort of, Sunderland at home as well. That's another game we've sort of got to win. Obviously Sunderland didn't play this weekend, they were playing the Cup. That means they've obviously got a few games in hand over the other teams around them, including us. But obviously, they're games that they've still got to win. I think one of them is against Manchester City, so that's not going to be an easy game because Manchester City obviously going for the title at the minute. So it's all going to be very tight down at the bottom. Right. Anyway, another team that didn't have a very good weekend was Fulham. They lost 3-1 to Cardiff, which that game, many people sort of thought it was going to be one of those games where the loser looked set as though they really going to end up going down, and Fulham lost. Obviously home advantage was with Cardiff. I think that went in their favour. Looking at the goals, I think all 4 of the goals were actually from more or less set pieces, so I think it's hard to judge. I think Cardiff are a good side from set pieces. They've got a lot of height in their team, but I still, even though they won, I'm not entirely convinced that they have perhaps the technical players that will get them out of this. And I think if they've got tougher games to come, which I've looked at the fixtures, and I think they've got to play some teams playing for the title really and for European places, so it's not going to be easy for them. Fulham, I wouldn't rule them out at the minute. Obviously we've still got to go to Fulham, so that'll be probably 3 points that they'll get, because obviously it's well documented our lovely record against Fulham. So yeah, I wouldn't rule them out, but I think it's looking pretty unlikely at the minute for them. Crystal Palace are starting to get dragged back into it. Didn't expect them to get dragged back in, but they sort of are, and they're not really what I'd call getting thrashed. I mean, they lost 1-0 at the weekend to Southampton, and it was probably an easily preventable goal, but I think it's one of those ones where if Pulis can keep them solid at the back like he has done basically for his entire reign so far, Sorry about that. If you can keep them tight, I think they've got a chance. But again, goal scoring is a key problem. They got Glenn Murray back, but I'm not entirely sure, really. I think, yeah, they probably are in trouble. We can't really score either, so I can't really go and criticise Palace for not really scoring. But I do think that it'll probably be between us, West Brom and Palace for that sort of, and Sunderland obviously for that third spot. I think Fulham and Cardiff will probably go down. I think Sunderland may stay up. I'd say everyone probably above us is more or less safe. I think you look at Swansea, I think they've got too much quality to go down, and obviously with Monk in charge, I think he's someone who knows the club really well and knows how they play, and I think they've got too much to go down. The same with Villa. I think they pretty much secured their safety, beating us last week. And I think really they're a good side. Benteke is a brilliant striker on his day. He's not been brilliant all season, but as he showed against us, he's good when it matters, and I think that is the difference down at the bottom. I think when you need results, certain teams get results. Like obviously, I think there's been times this season where we've needed a result, and we've pulled off the result, which is absolutely brilliant. Games like Hull, I think, I think Hull are also safe because I think they're playing quite well at the minute, and I like the way they play. I like the way they set up. They're quite a good team to watch, and I think they'll stay up. Stoke as well. I think their home record will probably keep them up. I think they've got a few good home games coming up that they can probably they'll probably think that they can get something out of, and I think really it'll be very interesting to see how all this shapes up, because all this that I've just talked about could completely go out the window by this weekend, because you look at it and every week there always seems to be someone else playing another team around them, which that could completely change things. But I think where it'll be won and lost is obviously not only the games against each other, but also the games against the big teams, because obviously the title race is more open than it ever has been. European spaces, let's not forget, because you still got teams like, well, they got very slim chance, but you got like Man United, who's still on the fringes of things, Everton, Spurs, and then you got obviously Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, Man City. Obviously that's not their correct order, but I just said them because they're there. So I think as you can see, there's so many teams at the top still playing for something, which is going to be absolutely vital for our survival chances. We've obviously got to play 4 of them at the end of the season. Not good. So I think we'll be looking to our home form for them. But that was just I was going to say a quick roundup, but actually it's not. It's probably about 8 minutes long by the time you're watching this. And if you stayed through this, then I salute you, because I can probably talk for England. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this, and if you did enjoy it, then please feel free to comment and say how much you liked it or something. And hopefully we can do this sort of thing again on a regular basis, and if you've got a topic that you want me to talk about, that would also be great. So just leave your feedback basically, and until next time, I'll see you later.